Hey guys, it's Tamara Bennett. Whoops. Let's start over. Okay. Hi guys, I'm Tamara Bennett from Adoornments, Decor, and I'm excited to be painting live with you guys today. And I'm still working on getting my camera angle exactly the way I want it, but Okay. And I've been doing lots of painting here lately, so my tabletop is a little messy. Sorry about that. But we're going to be painting this super cute trick or treat door hanger. I thought I couldn't get close enough, but maybe I can. So forgive me while I adjust this just a second so I can get you guys just a wee bit closer. That's better, isn't it? As long as I can get this to tilt right. Oh, hang on. All right. That's better right there. Awesome. Hello, Priscilla and Wanda and Judy and Diana. How are you guys? Hello, Sheila and Angie. So we're going to be painting this fun trick-or-treat door hanger. I've had this one for a little while now. I kept meaning to paint it because we released this one in our shop at shopdoorhangers.com about a month ago. And it has been a hot seller in the shop. We have sold lots of templates of this one. We've sold lots of blanks of this one. And I just never did get the time to paint it live with you guys. So I thought today would be a good time to do that. So as you're coming in, tell me hello. I would love it if you guys could sprinkle the love on this video. We like to surprise you guys with happy mail from time to time. So you may just be one of the ones that we surprise. Sherry says she joined the template club. Awesome, Sherry. So if you don't know what the template club is, we sell templates for all of the designs that we make. And if you want to get all of the templates for one low cost every month, you can join the template club. And you can find out more about that at southernadoornmentsdecor.com. So because this is an etched door hanger blank, we do sell these in our shop. This is the 20-inch size. Let me hold it up next to my face for reference. So this is the largest version that we offer. It's a good standard door hanger size. And you can get them with the etching already on them. And if you're like, what is etching? That is the lettering you see here. So I can like run my fingernail across that and feel it etched in the surface. And so when we paint over these letters, we can actually just paint right over the top of them, or we can paint around them. You can choose. I like to just paint right over the top of them because it makes things a little easier instead of painting around everything. So I'll show you that, and I will show you how when you do paint right over them, you can still see the lettering underneath. Hi, Joanne from Nashville. I'm only about 2 hours away from Nashville. So this paint color I'm using is Decor Americana paint. It's called Brilliant Purple. I wanted a really bright purple for my background, and then I may do some like darker purple stripes or something. I don't know. We're going to figure it out as we go. So let's just get a base coat of purple on here, and then we'll decide what we're going to do from there. Thank you so much for sprinkling the love, Kim Phillips. Whoops. Look what I just did there. I just got my paint all up on my candy corn, and I was going to wipe it off, but you know what? I think I'll just take and wipe the excess off with a paper towel, and we'll just paint over it later because I believe I may want to undercoat these candy corn with white anyways, so that my yellow and my orange are nice and bright. So I really am not too worried about that not covering the purple. White should cover purple just fine. So how many of you guys have not painted your first door hanger yet? If you've never painted a door hanger, let me know. If you just painted your first one this week, I would love to know as well. So we actually have a new texting system, which I meant to put up on the screen for you guys at the beginning of this. So if you don't want to miss, I'll take this down in just a moment after you guys copy the number down. If you don't want to miss a single Facebook Live that I do, if you want to find out about any like lives that I'm going to do, any new designs we release in the shop, or when we put up a new blog post, be sure and text me at, oh, sorry, that's the wrong thing. I don't want you to text Clubhouse. My bad. I don't even know what I'm doing here. My Painters Clubhouse members are supposed to text to get on the Clubhouse notifications, but this is for you guys. So if you want to be notified when I go live, text the word hey or hi or hello, however you want to say it, to 270-207-9091, and you will be put on our texting list. So if you're not a Painters Clubhouse member, don't text #Clubhouse, because then you'll be getting text notifications for Clubhouse, and you won't want those. So be sure and text that number. Also, you guys can send me pictures. So if you guys have already painted one of these, I would love to see a picture of it. We like to take your photos and put them in blog posts and maybe do a blog post roundup. Sometimes we share them here on our Facebook page and stuff like that. So if you want to share a photo with us, be sure and send it to that text number, and I will save it, and we will see about sharing it when we need a photo of this door hanger. Okay, I'm going to take it down now. Everybody got it? If you don't, screenshot it now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it goes. You'll have to watch it on the replay. Let's see. Melissa has never painted a door hanger before. Melissa, this is something anyone can learn to do. You do not have to have any painting talent whatsoever, because if you follow my instructions and you use my templates, you won't have any troubles. You'll be able to just, you know, pick it up pretty quickly. This is something anybody can learn. You don't have to have, like, you know, an artist inside you to be able to do this. Okay, this MDF that this door hanger is cut out of is soaking it up so fast. I'm just going to quickly whip out a second coat instead of drying in between, because the first coat is almost dry. So we're just going to quickly put a second coat of this brilliant purple, and then we'll move on. And I can still see the letters through the paint, by the way, if you guys are worried about that. I can. I thought we might even use some glitter today. I don't normally use glitter, but you know, the green lettering on this is just screaming for me to add some green glitter. So we may just have to do that. Do you guys like to use glitter on your door hangers? Stephanie said, I've never painted one, but I'm finally working on the fall challenge project. My first ever was a 3D Christmas tree sitter. That's a good first project. That Christmas tree is pretty easy to paint, so that was a really good one to choose to do first. If you did not get a chance to participate in the fall door hanger challenge that somebody was talking about just a second ago, we are planning on doing, for the first time ever, a winter challenge. So you'll be looking for signups, how to sign up for that later in October. Probably in about 2.5 weeks, we should be posting more information about that. So just keep an eye out mid-October for that. We have never done a winter challenge before. We usually only do it in the spring and the fall, but the one that we did this fall was such a big hit that we thought, you know what, we may just try doing another one and see how it goes. Okay, we've got 2 coats of this purple on here, and we're going to just let that dry for a little bit. Again, this is the brilliant purple color. Look how pretty that is. And you can kind of see on my camera angle, like, for some reason, colors down here show up differently than they do right here. So you can kind of see, you know, there's a bit of a difference. To me, it has a little bit of a red tone in the overhead angle. Shawanda says, I joined the club, but how do I place an order for a door hanger? Shawanda, if you're a member of the Painters Clubhouse, we have links to our designs in the blanks for our designs in paintersclubhouse.com in the membership site, or you can just go to shopdoorhangers.com. Cherish says, I keep missing your comments. What did you say, Cherish? Let me go back and see if I've missed an important comment. To be honest with you, I miss a lot of comments because they come through so fast that there's no way for me to read them all. So what I usually do is I go back after the I got to pump this seat up a little higher. There we go. After the Facebook Live is over, I often go backwards later and I rewatch. Belinda says, do you always share which paintbrush number to use? I noticed you mentioned it on some of the videos. I don't always, Belinda. I do whenever I'm teaching inside the Painters Clubhouse. I always make sure to tell them exactly which brush I'm using, which paint color I'm using, because they're paying for the lessons, right? And so I try to be way more attentive to making sure I'm giving that information inside the Painters Clubhouse. But when I'm live here on Facebook with you guys, I try my best to remember it, but if I'm busy answering comments and just chatting with you guys, because this is my chance to like connect with you and answer your questions about door hangers, sometimes I may forget to tell you what kind of brush I'm using and stuff like that. But I don't often say the actual brush size number, because I don't know if you realize this, but different brush companies all have different numbers that they go by. There is no standard. Is that not crazy? There is no brush size standard in the world. Like, each company has their own brush size standards. So a size like 12 in this might be a size 12 in this brand. And obviously those are not the same size brush. So even if I give you the brush number, unless you have that particular pack of brushes from that particular company, the number's not really going to do you much good. So I usually just try to like give you something to look at, like in comparison to my hand, or, you know, I'll say like it's a little over an inch wide or something like that. So I try to give out helpful information like that. Thank you for sprinkling the love, Brenda. I appreciate that. You guys, if you sprinkle the love, you will be entered for some happy mail that we randomly give out. Wanda wants to know how to resize a template. So there is a thing called blockposters.com that you can use. You can upload a JPEG of your template into Block Posters, and you can select how many printer pages you want it to print on. So if it's currently printing on 3 pages wide or 2 pages wide, you can adjust that down to 1 page wide, or you can change it from portrait to landscape mode or vice versa, and that will change the sizing. Now on Block Posters, after you start messing with how many pages it's printing on and the portrait or landscape, it changes the numbers at the bottom of the screen to tell you the measurements for how big it's going to be overall after it's printed. So keep an eye on those measurements, and that should help you. But use blockposters.com. And if any of you in the comments have additional tips for her, be sure and share them. Cherish says, can we resize the templates ourselves? Yes. So your football came out 27 inches. Also, make sure your printer is printing at 100%, because if it's printing, a little bigger than that or a little smaller than that, it will distort the size of your template compared to the size that we have it set at. So perhaps your printer is set to print at 130% or something like that. And of course, that would cause the printed image to come out bigger. So just check your printer settings. And of course, if it's already a design that has been created to be fairly large, you can go in and just upload the JPEG. All of our template designs come with the JPEG. So you can just get the JPEG out of the file, upload it to Block Poster, and make adjustments as needed. Jennifer said, I just ordered my first blank, the pumpkin truck. I'm so excited and nervous to start. I've watched you for over a year and I finally got the nerve. Jennifer, why did it take you a whole year for me to talk you into doing it? I believe in you. You can do this. I can't believe it took you a whole year to convince yourself that you could do it. I'm just giving you a hard time, but I am excited for you. So let me know how your pumpkin truck turns out. Be sure and text me a picture of it. And if you want to, I can put the text number back up on the screen for just a second for those of you that may have missed it. If you want to text me pictures of your door hangers or get live notifications, you can text me at this number. I will put it back up for just about 30 seconds so that you guys can screenshot it for later, or you can go ahead and text it while you're watching right now. And so every time I go live, I will send a text to that number to let you guys know. If we have a guest going live, we're going to do our best to notify you. I forgot to notify you guys the other night when we had a guest on here, but we'll do our best to notify you also of when guests are going to be live or when we have new designs released in the shop. I also sent out a text notification the other day letting you guys know about a new blog post we had about how to ship a door hanger. And a lot of you guys were like, oh my goodness, you have no idea how badly I needed that information in that moment. It was like it came at the perfect time. So I appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to take it down now. I don't want it to be in the way. Does the white paint cover and color if you make a mistake? So Latoya, right here, I had accidentally gotten out of the lines with the purple. And as you can see, the white has covered that right back up with no problems. And now if it's pretty stubborn, get out a hairdryer. Dry that area pretty good and then go over it a second time, because I can still kind of barely see that purple after I've dried it. So just make sure you dry it and then check. And this top one didn't really get 2 coats of white, so I'm going to go ahead and put another coat on it, because we're going to be painting these orange and yellow, and we want the white underneath to be nice and smooth, because if your white is splotchy when you go over it with yellow or orange, the orange and yellow will look splotchy. So just make sure you get a good coverage underneath of white. Hello, Lisa from Louisiana, watching on YouTube. Did you guys know that we have a YouTube channel? All of our Facebook Live videos get put on YouTube. So if you ever can't find one of these videos that you had watched a while back or didn't get to watch all of it, you can easily find them over on YouTube. And we've also started going live on YouTube. You love this door hanger. Thank you, Britt Bell. I appreciate that. What a cute name. Okay, Kim wants to know what kind of file you're supposed to use when you're using your laser cutting machine. So really, Kim, that just depends on the kind of laser cutting machine you have. So if you have, is it a Glowforge? I think the Glowforges use SVG, but some of the other brands use a DXF kind of file. And so I really can't tell you the answer to that without, knowing too much about it. Okay. I thought we were going to put some purple stripes on this, but now I'm kind of thinking that might not be a good idea because I don't want it to be too busy. So we might just do some polka dots. Polka dots are simple and easy enough. So I'm going to be using these little sponge daughters that I have. These, let's see, what size do we want to use? We may want really big polka dots. And that's the largest size in the set that we sell in my shop. See, they come with multiple sizes. You get this whole pack for like $12 of a bunch of different sizes. But also from time to time, like to use these really large ones from Martha Stewart. I think I'm just going to use the big size of that one, though. I couldn't make up my mind. All right, and so I'm going to get a paper plate, and I'm going to take that same color of purple. What did I do with it? Did I set it over here? Yeah. And I'm going to darken and make dark purple polka dots instead of stripes. So let's see. I'm going to take some purple, add just a wee bit of black to it. I didn't have a darker color of purple that was just right. So I'm just going to add a drop of black and see what that does. Maybe a drop of blue. I don't know. We want to stay in the same color family. Ooh, that's too dark. So we're going to add some more purple back to it. I think we need to add some blue. So we're just going to play with our colors today and just add a bunch of different colors. Hi, Brenda. Welcome. Just make a whole new shade of purple. This will be like a really bluish purple. I don't like this. Okay. Yeah, I'm abandoning this idea. So sometimes when you start something and you think it's going to be a good idea, then you're like, no, I don't like this at all. So we're just going to set that aside. Not going to do that. How about, what should I do on the background? Do y'all want stripes or do you want polka dots? Let's comment. Let me just take comments. Hello, Maria. You didn't know that I also did lives on YouTube. Yes, so I'm streaming to YouTube and Facebook right now. Amanda says, if you buy templates, can you use graphite paper to transfer the design? Yes, you can. Or she's telling us that you can. Thank you for sharing that little tip, Amanda. Where do you get your round sponges? Shanda, we sell them at shopdoorhangers.com. Angel says, is this template for sale? Yes, it is at shopdoorhangers.com. Somebody said, okay, Joyce is suggesting doing lighter polka dots. Somebody else suggested green. Okay, Brenda, I don't want to do green polka dots because my lettering is going to be green and it would be too busy. Okay, I'm seeing lots of people saying polka dots. I agree. I do like polka dots, but I think I may do what you guys said. Mandy also suggested lighter color polka dots. This color purple was not turning out the way I wanted. So I'm going to take my original color of purple. Instead of going darker, we're going to go lighter. I was afraid that the darker might make it feel like depressing. You know what I mean? Like I want it to look Halloweenish, but I don't want it to look like so dark that I like bright colors. You know what I'm saying? Bright colors all the time, everywhere. Okay, I do like this color. This is pretty. And it still looks purple. I was also worried if I went lighter that it might look too lilac and not enough Halloween. So let's see what this looks like. We've added just a little bit of white to our brilliant purple. We're going to scrape the excess off. And we're just going to do polka dots. Do a gentle twist. Ooh, I like this. Good idea, ladies. Teamwork makes the dream work. And this will look really cute once we get our green polka dots, our green lettering on here. One little tip if you're new to painting and you need to do a polka dots, I suggest working in triangles. So as you can see, you can draw a triangle between these three and a triangle between these three. Not so much between those. I didn't do a very good job. But when you go from these two to the next one, we're going to create another triangular pattern. This keeps them nice and evenly spaced so that you don't have like one weird polka dot in a spot that it does not belong. And so here I can make a triangle between these three and between those three. So that's the perfect spot for that little dot. And then between these, let's see, let's put one like right here. This is kind of an awkward place too. And so when you're not sure, just try to space it however you can, just enough that you have triangles. And you can actually do several dots where you have to redip your paint, you're in the paint. And just keep making dots. Now I want to do one half on and half off an area. So I'm going to get a little sticky note. I keep those handy for these occasions. I want to do one like right in here somewhere. So I'm going to put my sticky note down. It's going to act kind of like painter's tape. See? Ta-da! Okay, and I think they're done. That's a lot of polka dots. Okay. So what do you think? Do you guys like the decision we came to with the lighter color polka dots? Now, orange polka dots would have been difficult also, Rhonda, because orange would not have shown up well on the purple. That would have been really difficult to get those to show up. They would have come out kind of brownish looking. Hello, Macon. I hope I'm saying her name right, from Denmark. She's a Painters Clubhouse member. If you're a Clubhouse member, by the way, I would love it if you guys would put hashtag PC sister or PC brother in the comments. Pam says, I use your triangle method for polka dots in the September challenge. I'm so glad to know that it's helpful. Yay. Will you have the name of the paints you use? So Roxanne, I actually have a list of favorite paint colors you guys can get. I don't know if I have the link for it handy, but I can put it in the comments later. But the color I've just been using now is called Brilliant Purple. Okay, let's start painting our candy corn. So, okay. Help me remember. Is candy corn white, yellow, orange? Is orange at the bottom of the candy corn? What's at the bottom? Comment and tell me what color goes at the bottom of the candy corn, because there's three colors. You've got white, yellow, and orange. I think orange is at the bottom, but I want to make sure before we move on. So let me find the orange that I want. Let's use this one. It's really bright. I want to go with really bright Halloween colors. This is called Orange Flame. Lots of PC sisters watching right now. Awesome. Welcome, Shelby, new PC sister. Okay, can you say an orange? I don't eat candy corn, so I don't even know. Okay, now you guys seem divided. We may have to Google this. Google a picture of candy corn. Nothing like in the middle of a Facebook Live. Okay. Ooh, it's showing yellow, orange in the middle, you guys. Check it out. Yellow's on bottom, orange is in the middle, and the white's on top. That is not what I thought. I would have done it wrong. Okay, so yellow on bottom, orange in the middle. So we'll do the middle first since I already have my orange out. This is called Orange Flame. Thank you to those of you who commented, even those of you who were wrong. I was thinking I thought orange was on bottom too, but apparently it was not. And this brush has a wild hair, so we're just going to get our scissors out and cut it. I'm going to be using this flat tip brush. It's a little bit smaller, about the width of my finger. And we're going to use the orange flame color right in the middles. So these, I don't know if you can't still see the lines, but the lines are etched in this door hanger. So I'm not having to freehand where this goes. I'm just following the lines that are already there. And we painted over them with the white paint a few minutes ago. And now we're just filling them in. So it's like paint by number, only there's no numbers. So all of our door hanger blanks come with the option of etching. And so if you want those lines on there to make this super easy on you, select the etched option. Let's do the next one. Now on this one, there are also some tiny little stitch marks. You're just going to paint right over those little stitch marks. See? Because when we go back with our black paint, we can just, we can paint over them again. So I'm just painting inside the lines as closely as I can get it without being a perfectionist. Look how well this color is covering since we have 2 coats of white underneath. It's like so easy. I do think I may want to do a second coat, but we'll wait and see in just a second. Orange does not usually cover very well, so this is covering beautifully. My hair is all up in my face today. How come I eat that stuff, but I don't know the order of the colors? Because Tanya, when you're eating candy corn, you don't eat it one piece at a time. You eat it like popcorn. You shove it in by the mouthful, or at least a lot of people do. I don't. If I'm eating candy corn, I usually have a handful of peanuts with my candy corn. I do not like candy corn by itself. So yeah, I don't pay attention to the order of the colors either, but I cannot believe that orange is in the middle, and I did not realize this. So I'm glad we Googled a picture of it. Some of you guys were right, and some of you were wrong right along with me. Whoops, I'm getting my arm in the purple paint. Amanda says, I followed the mock-up picture. Is the mock-up wrong? Or is the mock-up right? Let me look. The mock-up has it in a different color order too. See, I don't know. And nobody's really going to know the difference, right? Nobody's going to walk up to your door and be like, excuse me, madam, the colors on your candy corn are in the wrong order. If anybody does that, it's probably going to be Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory or someone like Sheldon. Tastes like a payday candy bar. You're right about that. It does. Somebody else said I prefer chocolate candy corn. I had no idea there was such a thing. You guys are all having like conversations in the comments. I also do not like the little pumpkins, like the candy corn flavored pumpkins. I do not like those. It's not my thing. Okay, so the next color we're going to use is called Primary Yellow. I have it in a great big bottle. And we're going to paint the bottom parts of our candy corn this color. I cannot wait to do the lettering. We're going to do the lettering in green with green glitter. It's going to be so pretty. So stay tuned for that. Also, for those of you who are just popping on live and feel like you've missed out, be sure and get on our text notification. I'll put this up here for about another 30 seconds. If you guys want to be notified every time I go live, be sure and text me at that number. Also, if you have painted this design before, please send me a picture of it. Or even if you haven't, if you've got another door hanger you're so proud of that you want to send me a picture of, I would love to see it. I love it when you guys text me pictures and, ask for my feedback or just say, hey, I wanted you to see this. I'm proud of it. Because, if you can't show it to me, your mentor, who else can you show it up to? If you're like nervous to show people your artwork, then send it to me. I love seeing what you guys are accomplishing and doing. Okay, everybody got it? If you don't, screenshot the number. I'm fixing to take it down because I don't want it to be in the way of all my painting. 3, 2, 1. Would someone tell me her shop name? Shopdoorhangers.com. Tanya loves getting the text messages. Awesome. Brenda says, do you always paint the blank white first? There were many different kinds of candy corn. Okay. So no, I don't always paint the blank white first. So the purple side here, I did not paint white underneath. I did paint white underneath the candy corn because yellow and orange are very transparent paint colors. And I knew that to get really bright orange and yellows, I was going to have to put white underneath or my colors would look just kind of muted. I wanted a really bright pop of yellow and orange. So in order to get that, I had to paint white underneath. So that's the only time I ever paint white underneath is if I know I'm going to have a hard time with coverage or if I need my colors to be brighter. That kind of goes to if you're using like pinks or something like that. If you need your colors to really pop and be nice and bright, adding a coat of white underneath will help with that. Okay, and I think I may do a third coat of white on these little areas right here, just because they don't look quite as bright now that we have the white or the orange and the yellow next to them. But I don't think we're going to have to do another coat on the orange and yellow. They look pretty good. Rebecca says, I'm eating 3 candy corn pumpkins right now, and it's all y'all's fault. I was doing good not eating them until you started talking about them. We don't even have that stuff in my house. That's how much I dislike candy corn. Amanda joined the template club. How do you get access to the templates? Amanda, if you just joined template club, you won't get your first set of templates until October 1st. So for those of you who've been thinking about joining template club, you can join by going to southern-adoornmentsdecor.com. And whoops, my email just popped up. I don't want that on the screen. And then what's October 1st is what date? Thursday. So in 2 days, you would get your first bundle of templates. Template Club is $30 a month, or if you're a Painters Clubhouse member, you can get $10 off. And you get a bundle of templates every single month. And it's always the brand new templates that we're getting ready to release. So on October 1st, our Template Club members will get all of the October designs that we're going to release at one time before anybody else gets them. Candy corn is only used as decoration around here. I agree, Sarah. If we have any, it would be because I needed some vase filler. But then again, my kids would probably be eating it. I don't like it, but the kids do. You just had to go get a handful of peanuts. I'm making everybody hungry, aren't I? Okay, so we've got our base colors down. I'm going to give this a really good dry first because we're fixing to do our lettering, and some of these purple dots are still wet. So hang on. By the way, if you haven't sprinkled the love yet, please do so while I'm drying this. And then we will be giving out Happy Mail at some point later in the month. Do you like my little Template Club commercial? This live brought to you by the Template Club. I'm feeling spunky today. Can you tell? Okay. So now we need some green. We do have our green glitter already. Do you want to see it? It's called Glamour Dust Ultra Fine Glitter Paint. And it's a gorgeous green glitter. So we're going to be using this. But we have to do a coat of green under it, because if we do not, this would be like painting with glue that has glitter mixed in. Okay, so you need a paint color under it for it to really show up. So I'm going to be using this citron green color. Look how brilliant that is. And if it doesn't cover well, I'm going to end up adding a little bit of white to it. So let's paint first and just see how it comes out before we decide. I need a good paintbrush. Let me see. Let's try this one. So I'm going to use a round tip brush because some of this lettering has skinny spots and some of it has nice wide areas. And so a round tip brush will allow me to cover lots of areas at one time without switching back and forth. Thank you guys for sprinkling the love. What brand is it, Helen? It is a Decor paint. See, it has Deco Art right down there at the bottom, but it's their Glamour Dust line. And this is the Limelight color. So I'm not using this yet. Keep in mind, right now we're just using citron green, and we're going to paint the background this color, and then we'll glitter on top of that. So let's see first how well it's going to cover. Oh, it's actually covering pretty well, and I'm still getting my arm in wet purple paint. How am I doing that? I don't know. Let's see how well it covers over the orange. It covers pretty good. So it must have a good amount of white paint already built into it. This is driving me nuts. I don't know where the paint is sticking right there, that dot. Sticking to my arm. So I'm just going to take my brush and we're going to fill in these little lettering areas. And then we will go over them with glitter. So our actual first coat of paint does not have to be as like perfectly covered as it would if we were not using the glitter, because the glitter is going to hide some of that. So as long as I get the paint on relatively thick, it's covering pretty good. There's a couple of areas like right on top of this yellow that it's not showing up as well though. So I'm wondering now if I shouldn't pivot and do it a little darker, because see how it's disappearing on the yellow? We don't want that. So let's mix a little bit with our citron green. We need a little bit of a darker hint of green. Is that going to be dark enough? It might. So we're going to add, let's try this, Hauser light green. Mix it with our citron green. So we've almost got like a half and half mixture. Let's see if this covers on top of the yellow a little better. When you join the club, how do you receive your templates? They will come to you will get an email telling you where to log in to get them, and you will download them by going to your orders in shopdoorhangers.com. So if you've ever ordered a template from us before, you will get your templates, I believe, in the same place you normally do, if that makes sense. Okay, that's covering a little better, isn't it? So this is a mixture of the Hauser light green and the citron green together. The citron was almost too neon green. It was not covering well enough to show up on top of the yellow, so we added the Hauser light green, and now it's covering really nicely. I never professed to be perfect at this, but by me making mistakes and you guys watching me change my mind as I paint this and you know, choose paint colors, I hope that it is teaching you something. And you're like, okay, if I have this problem, this is what Tamara would do. And you know how to pivot and fix things. Because if I did everything perfect all the time and never did make mistakes or change my mind in the middle of a Facebook Live, then you guys probably wouldn't learn how to fix things. Did you water down a little bit to do the lettering? I did not water it down, but so I usually water my paint down if I'm using black or something like that. But in this case, I do not want this green paint to be any thinner, because if it was thinner, it would not cover as well. Whereas with black, you don't have that trouble. Black always covers well. Even if it's a little thinner, it still covers really well. So I do not want to thin the green out, because then we would be seeing a lot more purple through it. And I'm already seeing a little bit of purple through it, but it would be worse if I added water. But this color looks really good with the purple. Green and purple are kind of like a complementary color. They look good together. Thank you, Ashley. How do you not have brush marks at the end of your stroke? Okay, so I'm supposing you mean like at the end of these letters here and at the end of this. So if you notice, when I got to doing this part, instead of coming this way, I started this way and went back the other way. So at the end of this C, and I've got quite a bit of paint on my brush. See how it's like globbed up on the end of the brush? I will start right there, and I will kind of like wiggle it gently to kind of spread the paint out, and then I pull the paint away from that edge. And by pulling it away from that edge, it prevents having just a glob of paint at the end of the letter, but it also helps you have that nice smooth finish. Those are good things for you guys to ask, because there's a lot of times I don't even realize I'm doing it unless I explain precisely how I'm doing it. So let's do it on this letter K. I've just dipped my brush in fresh paint, put it there, and just drag backwards. And just start spreading the paint that's already on your brush as far as you can go with it until it starts to kind of not cover well, and then you're going to dip again. Same thing. Instead of continuing on down here, I'm going to start at the bottom and pull up to meet the area that I've already done. And this ensures that I don't have an odd area with a weird streak at the end. Notice how I'm see, I even started to do it right there at the end of that K and didn't realize it. So start at the end of the K and then pull back toward what I've already done. Does this help? Does explaining it that way help you guys? Bailey said, I'm just catching the last half of today. I get on here every day hoping you will go live. Okay, Bailey, text this number so that you don't miss me next time I'm live, okay? If you text hello or hey or whatever, or send me a picture to that number, you won't miss it next time. I'll send you a text message every time I'm going live so you don't miss it. And by the way, I do go live every Tuesday and Friday. So Tuesdays are usually around 2 p.m. Central. Fridays are usually around always at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. And on Fridays, I don't paint. I do Friday Fab 5, where I share 5 of my favorite things with you guys. So if you don't want to miss any of that, be sure and text me and get on the text list so that you get notified next time I'm live. And that way you don't have to constantly keep checking back. Not to mention, I'll be able to text you back. So if you send me a picture of a door hanger you've done, I can text you my thoughts about it. And I also like to take y'all's photos and share them on here or on a blog post or wherever. So I would love to see your pictures. Okay, I'm gonna take it back down for a minute. Glow in the dark. Stephanie, I wanted to use glow in the dark, but I could not find my glow in the dark paint right before I went live. I know I have some around here, but I have no idea where it went. So instead of glow in the dark, we're going to be adding glitter after we get this done. Glitter's almost as good as glow in the dark, isn't it? My phone started to ring. I wanted to make sure it wasn't messing up the feed. You like this lettering? I don't remember what font this is, but it is pretty cute. It is kind of nice sometimes when you don't have to hand letter something and it can look just so. I don't dislike my own hand lettering, but I also sometimes struggle to like get it to look cutesy like this, like for Halloween. And so sometimes it's nice to use a font or something so that you don't have to freehand it. So just so you know, I'm not freehanding this lettering right now. It actually comes laser etched in the surface of the door hanger. And so if you buy one of our wooden door hangers from shopdoorhangers.com, it will come with the lettering etched on it, and you won't have to freehand your lettering. You can just paint inside the lines exactly like I'm doing now. Makes it super easy for you to achieve exactly the same result as me without having to freehand everything. We also sell the printable templates to our designs. So if you are handy with a jigsaw or a scroll saw, or you're not afraid to try using a power tool, you can buy the printable template just for just $5, and you can cut your own wooden blanks, and you can even sell what you paint like on Etsy, or you can sell them at craft fairs, or you can also teach them at paint parties. We had a live Q&A last night in our Paint to Profit group. My Paint to Profit group is an extension of the Painters Clubhouse. So once people have been in the Painters Clubhouse a while, they may choose to join Paint to Profit, which is a business membership, business coaching membership, teaching you how to sell more door hangers and book more paint parties. And so we did a live Q&A in that group last night about paint parties, and it was lots of fun. We had lots of great ideas shared, and lots of our ladies are getting ready to start doing paint parties in October. So that's exciting. That's how I got started in this business. I taught paint parties locally in my hometown, and it made me a good living. Like, it was a full-time job for me for a long time until I ended up taking my business online. And then I stopped doing them locally just because my online business had built up so much. You loved hearing me sing on my stories. If you want to hear me sing, you're going to have to go check out my Facebook or Instagram story. So I cannot believe I did that. But my good friend Danielle Stringer from Imperfect Dust had hand lettered on an old hymnal sheet, and the song was Glory Land Way. And on her stories, she was like, I had somebody request this song, and she said, I've never heard this song before. I don't know how it goes. And so, oh, hold on. Can you guys give me a second? I think this is UPS calling me. Hello? Nope, that was spam. Hanging up on him. But anyways, she said she didn't know how the song went. So I private messaged her, and in the private message, I sang just a little part of the song to her. And she was like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. That's a beautiful song. And she's like, you got such a beautiful voice. She's like, you should sing that on your stories. And I was like, no. Well, then she kind of talked me into it. And so I was like, all right, fine. So I ended up doing it. And I tagged her in my story, and she shared it to her story. So now half of Facebook land and Instagram have heard me sing the gospel hymn, Glory Land Way. But not the whole part, but like the main part of the chorus. Does the template come with the lettering? Yes, it does. Lisa, I don't actually have a laser cutter right now. We are outsourcing all of our laser cutting at this moment. We are talking to different laser cutting companies and trying to decide what laser would be best for us, because we do plan on buying our own lasers to go in our shop. We are currently in the process of putting up a shop on the back part of our property that's going to be our new laser workshop. And so my husband will be running that shop cutting and shipping door hangers. And so that's really exciting. And up until now, we've had everything outsourced. So we're excited to be able to take on some of our own cutting. And so if you are thinking about buying a laser, we should have more information on that coming up soon when we decide on a company ourselves. So it's in the works. Thank you for sharing the link, Amanda. That is the link to our shop, by the way, shopdoorhangers.com. Can you get letter stencils? We have wording stencils, but not letter stencils. Jo Beth, the color I used for the purple is Brilliant Purple by Decor. Brilliant Purple. And then for the lighter color, we just mixed the Brilliant Purple with some white. And then, of course, this green is Citron Green mixed with Hauser Light Green. We had to mix the two together because the Citron Green was disappearing on top of the yellow candy corn. So we had to darken it just a wee bit. But I wanted it to stay nice and light green. So this is kind of a happy in-between color. We are almost done with this lettering. I may have to do a quick second coat on some areas that are a little patchy and thin. But once we do that, we can add our glitter and then our finishing touches. So let me dry this real quick. So do you purchase the copyright for the fonts? So some of them have like commercial licenses. So yes. What color of green is perfect? Oh, that color. Thank you, Laura. Kyla, right now I'm using a round tip brush. This is a size 6, but it's like I was saying earlier, not all brush sizes are the same. So just because this one's a size 6 does not mean that other size 6s are would be the same as this one. Every company has their own number system, which is nuts. I think they ought to come up with some sort of universal standard of numbers for brushes and brush sizes. That only makes sense, right? You would think. So I'm just putting a quick second coat on some of these areas that look a little thin. Just so that when we put our glitter on, you don't see any purple coming through because you don't want the purple showing up behind your glitter. Notice how fast the second coat goes on because I don't have to go all the way to the edges. I can just kind of hit the middles real quick and touch it up. And as long as I don't go over the edge, it's fine. Almost dipped in the wrong paint color just then. It's looking even better on that second coat. It's going to look so pretty with the glitter. Kanita, what a pretty name. We're so glad you're watching today. You're going to start on this door hanger tonight. The colors are gorgeous. Thank you. Kanita, be sure and text me a picture of your door hanger when you're done with it. I would love to see a picture of it. We like to share pictures of y'all's door hangers on our blog posts and Facebook and Instagram and whatnot. So if you send me a picture, I might just share it. Also, you can be notified next time I go live. Somebody just pulled up. I don't know who that was. I heard it, but I didn't see it. You enjoy watching me paint and you listen even if you're doing chores or something. Kara, I do that to some of my favorite creators and crafters too. It's better than TV sometimes, you know, because on TV you get a lot of commercials and stuff and it's not very personal. It doesn't feel like they're people you can relate to. But, you know, I'm just a regular Kentucky girl. I'm a mom. I'm a painter, a crafter. Business owner, and so I have lots to share. Hang on, they're knocking on the front door now. It may be UPS. Oh, it's my contractor. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to end this Facebook Live because my contractor's here to talk to me about the building. I will come back on Facebook Live in just a little bit and finish this up. I'm so sorry. Bye, y'all.